I tested over 20 injector cleaners through real injectors. What I found? Some restored power, like a $1,500 professional cleaning. Others caused clogs that acted like failing pumps, misfires, lean conditions, and even catalytic converter failures costing $2,000 to $3,000. One wrong bottle can turn a $10 shortcut into a four-figure repair. After seeing engines nearly killed, here are the 9 cleaners that can drain your wallet, and the 5 that actually protect it. Let's start with the worst offenders. Number 9. Seafoam Motor Treatment. It's an old brand, decades of hype behind it. Yet the formula? Shockingly basic. Inside that can is mostly kerosene. Yes, the same stuff used in lamps. It's mixed with naphtha, a weak dry cleaning solvent, and a bit of isopropyl alcohol. That's the whole recipe. No advanced detergents, no modern chemistry, and definitely no PEA, the only ingredient that actually dissolves carbon. Here's where it gets almost funny. Seafoam proudly markets itself as not a chemical. Really? What exactly are kerosene, naphtha, and isopropyl alcohol if not chemicals? But here's the part nobody talks about. Your injectors don't need loosened debris. They need carbon dissolve, completely removed. Seafoam can't do that. Its weak solvents evaporate fast. The engine warms up, the chemicals flash off. What's left? Watered down fuel or watered down oil. That's why engines treated with seafoam often run rough afterward. Debris breaks loose. It floats around, clogs filters, spark plugs foul, sensors get confused, check engine lights pop on. Drivers think it's cleaning. It's not. It's just relocating grime. And thinning your oil, even slightly, that matters. Oil is the only protection your engine has. Watered down oil means extra wear, especially in older engines. Does seafoam destroy engines instantly? No. Is it useful? Sometimes. On 2-stroke engines, or for light fuel stabilization. But modern fuel injectors? High-pressure systems? Direct injection? Absolutely not. Trust me on this one. If you think lamp oil in a can is safe, the story isn't over yet. Number 8. Marvel Mystery Oil. If any so-called mechanic tells you it works, you can be sure that person knows less about engines than Adam's offside ox. Let me explain why. Originally, Marvel Mystery Oil was created to fix Marvel Schiebler carburetors. These carburetors gummed up easily. Marvel blamed the fuel, promised their additive would prevent clogs. Did it? Not even close. No lab tests, no proof. Just marketing magic. So, what's inside the bottle? About 75% mineral oil, 24% weak solvent, and 1% lard. Yes, lard. Mineral oil is already in your crankcase. The weak solvent can't touch baked carbon. Not so mysterious. You'll want to hear this part. According to the National Transportation Safety Board, the NTSB, they analyzed Marvel Mystery Oil after it was implicated in an engine failure and even an aircraft crash. Let that sink in for a second. Some ads claim it boosts compression or engine power. Total fantasy. No science behind it, just smoke. In reality, it can even ruin your oil's viscosity. If you paid for high-quality oil with a VI of 140, you just reduced your VI, and we don't even know by how much. Manufacturers like GM and Ford warn against it. Use it, and you may void your warranty. In short, it doesn't clean, it doesn't protect, and it doesn't improve performance. Old-timers swear it works, but your engine deserves real science, not snake oil. Just when you thought snake oil was extinct, this century-old concoction enters the scene. Number 7. Abro Injector Cleaner. Many drivers assume it's a quick fix for clogged injectors. Don't fall for it. The main ingredient isn't a proven detergent. It's diesel fuel, also called gas oil. That's right, what you're pouring in is basically fuel meant for a diesel engine, not a cleaning chemical. This is where things go off the rails. Diesel loosens debris, but it doesn't dissolve it. Loose particles float through your fuel system. They eventually clog filters and injectors. That leads to poor fuel spray, uneven combustion, rough idle. Your engine may cough, hesitate, or run lean. Over time, damage adds up. You might notice a short-term boost. Some drivers swear by it. That's a placebo effect. It feels like it works, but it's temporary. Underneath, debris is moving, not disappearing. Eventually, performance drops, and repairs loom. Here's a real story. My friend Mike ignored warnings, poured Abro into his 2015 Corolla. At first, the engine felt smoother. He thought he'd found a miracle. Weeks later, the fuel filter clogged, injectors jammed, The engine hesitated under load. By the time he realized, he was staring at a $1,400 repair bill. A $10 shortcut turned into a wallet-crushing nightmare. Abra wasn't designed for modern gasoline injectors. High-pressure systems, direct injection, tiny nozzle openings. They demand real detergents, like PEA. Diesel fuel simply isn't up to the task. If you think that's bad, wait until the next one. Number 6. Ethanol-heavy cleaners. Modern engines tolerate ethanol just fine, but older carburetors? Not so much. Rubber gaskets, O-rings, fuel lines from the 1990s or earlier. They weren't designed for E10 or E15 gasoline. Exposing them to ethanol can make them brittle. They crack. They leak. The biggest problem is the carburetor bowl. Fuel sits there, open to the air. Ethanol evaporates faster than gasoline. That causes fuel separation. Congealed varnish forms. This sticky sludge clogs tiny passages, and when it burns, it leaves behind carbon deposits, basically little charcoal bombs in your engine. But here's the part most drivers don't know. Ethanol is hygroscopic. It absorbs moisture straight from the air, and water doesn't mix with gasoline. That water collects at the bottom of your fuel system. It leads to corrosion, misfires, even engine damage if left unchecked. The effects are worse for vehicles or equipment that sit unused for weeks or months. Ethanol-free gas isn't perfect. It will still form some varnish over time, but it happens much more slowly, giving your carburetor a fighting chance. No water buildup, no corrosion risk. For anything carbureted, old cars or lawn equipment, I always stick with ethanol-free fuel. It's the safest way to protect seals, gaskets, and injectors without risking expensive damage. Ethanol may seem harmless in modern engines, but older parts tell a very different story. This one promises to save you money, but the fallout is brutal. Number 5. Generic bargain cleaners. Those $3 bottles look like a steal. Bright labels, promise more power, better MPG, miracle cleaning. Don't believe it. Most are just kerosene, alcohol, or a mix of cheap solvents. These bottles contain no PEA, no real detergents. Carbon deposits don't dissolve. They break off into chunks. Those chunks float through your fuel system, jamming injectors, clogging filters, stressing your catalytic converter. One small bottle can quietly create thousands in hidden damage. Trust me on this. Cheap solvents can't fix engines. They only shuffle debris. Your fuel spray becomes uneven. Combustion falters. Idle roughens. Over time, this causes misfires, reduced mileage, expensive component failures. Even if the engine seems fine after one tank, the damage builds silently. Let me break down the real cost. A clogged fuel filter, $50 to $150 to replace. A failing fuel injector, $300 to $500 each. A damaged catalytic converter that can easily reach $1,500 to $3,000. One $3 shortcut now leads to a long, costly repair list. Real cleaning requires PEA, or polyethyramine, chemicals proven to break down baked-on carbon safely. Anything else is a gamble, with your engine, your wallet, and your time. If you think that's bad, this one costs far more than cash can cover. Number 4. Miracle multi-purpose blends. A single bottle cannot fix everything in your car. These miracle multi-purpose blends promise it all. Clean fuel, flush oil, stabilize gas, even fix your exhaust. Sounds amazing, right? The truth is brutal. Most contain no PEA, no real detergents. They can't dissolve baked carbon. They can't unclog injectors. They can't improve combustion. Pouring one of these into your tank is like throwing a party for trouble. Fuel lines, sensors, gaskets, they all get a cocktail they weren't built to handle. Chaos follows. Rough idle, misfires, injectors jammed, check engine lights flashing like a disco show. Drivers often brag about instant results. Don't be fooled. Any short-term improvement is a placebo. The debris they do loosen just moves somewhere else. Filters get blocked. Fuel sprays unevenly. Catalytic converters overheat. Here's the worst part. Flashy marketing sells them like magic. All in one fix. Ultimate engine saver. No mechanic needed. Reality check. One shortcut can cost $300 to $2,500. Depending on which part fails first. If you want your engine to survive, only real detergents like PEA or polyethyramine can do the job. Cheap shortcuts just bury trouble in your fuel system and your bank account. All-in-one fixes sound tempting, but the next formula packs a chemical punch your engine won't forget. Number 3. Harsh solvent cocktails. They're loaded with acetone, xylene, and other heavy solvents, strong enough to tear apart carbon, but not in the way you want. They don't dissolve deposits, they shatter them. Tiny chunks float through your fuel system, like landmines. Injectors choke, spark plugs foul, oxygen sensors go haywire, combustion suffers. Your engine may hesitate, stumble, or run lean without warning. And if debris hits the catalytic converter, goodbye, $2,000 to $2,500 repair bill. But here's where it gets worse. These solvents aren't picky. They attack seals, gaskets, and hoses. Rubber stiffens, plastic warps. Fuel pressure can spike from 40 pounds per square inch to 70 pounds per square inch, or drop below 20 pounds per square inch, stressing pumps and lines. That sudden spark of improvement is pure illusion. One tank may run smooth, the next triggers hidden chaos. Picture this: pouring acid over a delicate circuit board. Sure, sparks fly, but components die quietly. Misfires appear, injectors choke, catalytic converters overheat. Damage stacks up in the shadows. This isn't cleaning. It's chemical sabotage dressed as a miracle. Only PEA can safely break down stubborn carbon without turning your fuel system into a hazard zone. Before you scroll away, let's see what alcohol really does under the hood. Tap like, hit subscribe, and fuel your knowledge with more expert tricks. Number 2. Alcohol-heavy formulas. These so-called cleaners pack a punch, but not the good kind. You can find them at supermarkets, online, for as little as $5 to $8 a bottle. Many are loaded with high amounts of isopropyl alcohol, enough to strip moisture and anything else it touches. Rubber seals shrink, O-rings crack, plastic fuel lines harden. Components designed to flex and seal start failing quietly, often without warning. The idea? Knock carbon loose. Reality? It only breaks deposits into tiny shards. Those shards can jam injectors, foul spark plugs, and scratch cylinder walls. Combustion becomes uneven. Engines can run lean. Over time, pistons, valves, and sensors take a beating. Some ads promise all-purpose cleaning. Truth: the only thing these bottles clean is your wallet. Any short-term improvement is cosmetic. A shimmer, a placebo, nothing permanent. You may feel a smoother idle for a tank, then face misfires, hesitation, or check engine lights. You'll want to hear this part. The only real use for alcohol-heavy formulas is emergency water removal, condensed water in a gas tank or fuel line. That's it. And finally, the one that taught me the hardest lesson. What seems harmless can cost thousands in a tank. Number 1. Kerosene-based cleaners. Years ago, I grabbed a kerosene-based injector cleaner for my 2011 Honda Civic. It promised to restore performance and clean carbon deposits. I poured it in, expected smoother idle, better fuel economy. Instead, the engine started pinging after just one tank. Let me explain what happened. Turns out, these cleaners are mostly mild solvents and petroleum distillates. They can't dissolve baked-on carbon. What they do is dilute your fuel, lower octane, and cause lean running conditions. My spark plugs fouled. Combustion became uneven. Carbon built up faster, not slower. I ended up replacing the ignition coils. $400, and narrowly avoided a $2,200 catalytic converter failure. Every penny I thought I was saving turned into a costly lesson. Kerosene-based formulas give a false sense of progress. Idle may seem smoother, fuel may seem cleaner, but this is cosmetic. Behind the scenes, the engine suffers. Seals, gaskets, sensitive sensors, they all experience stress. Knock risk rises. Deposits multiply. If the label lists kerosene, petroleum distillates, or lamp oil, skip it. Time to turn the page. After surviving the chemical chaos, here are the 5 fuel injector cleaners that actually clean, protect, and boost performance. Number 5. Chevron Techron Concentrate Plus. If your engine could talk, it would ask for Techron. This isn't a gimmick, no flashy marketing. It's a formula designed to actually work. At the heart of Techron is PEA, polyethyramine. It dissolves stubborn carbon deposits, where they matter most. Modern engines are picky. Carbon builds up on valve backs, inside combustion chambers, choking airflow, reducing horsepower, hurting fuel economy. Techron keeps these areas clean, so your engine breathes freely and performs as it was designed. Here's what most drivers don't know. Carbon can glow red hot inside the combustion chamber. That triggers pre-ignition. Your engine's computer compensates by retarding timing. The result? Fuel economy can drop by 1 to 3 miles per gallon, and you may lose 5 to 10% of engine power. Techron prevents this buildup, keeps timing stable, and performance consistent. It blends seamlessly with gasoline, working with your car, not against it. Safe for all gasoline engines, small engines, even high compression systems. It restores smooth idle, power, and fuel efficiency. Fleets, mechanics, and automakers trust it because it delivers predictable, repeatable results. Techron isn't about magic. It's about protection, prevention, and maintaining what your engine already deserves. Cheap additives may promise horsepower, but Techron preserves it. Use it regularly, and your fuel injectors, valves, and combustion chambers stay cleaner, longer. Just when you think you've seen disciplined chemistry, something far more unruly is waiting to take the gloves off. Number 4. Redline SI1. It contains one of the highest over-the-counter concentrations of PEA, between 30 to 50%. That's a serious cleaning punch. This isn't a cosmetic fix. It melts heavy carbon on injectors, valves, and combustion chambers fast. Stubborn deposits that throttle airflow and steel efficiency, they simply don't survive. But here's the catch. Use it carefully. Follow instructions precisely. Overuse or ignoring directions can leave residue in injectors, foul sensors, and even upset your fuel-air mix, reducing performance instead of improving it. One full bottle poured into a full tank unleashes a potent dose of PEA, alongside upper cylinder lubricants. These lubricants reduce friction, deliver a subtle horsepower bump, and help maintain fuel economy. Expect roughly 1 to 2 miles per gallon improvement on heavily coated engines. This formula shines for engines with severe carbon buildup, or those due for a deep periodic clean. Think of carbon buildup as a disruptive drummer, throwing off the engine's rhythm. Redline SI1 helps spark plugs stay cleaner, combustion steadies, idle smooths, timing sensors remain happy, lowering misfire risk, and protecting the catalytic converter. Use it as preventative care. It's a professional-grade scrub for your engine, delivering shop-level results safely without dismantling a single part. If that felt like raw firepower, imagine a product that works quietly in the shadows, reshaping your engine's future 1 mile at a time. Number 3. Lucas Deep Clean. Sometimes, prevention beats a full-on rescue mission. That's where Lucas Deep Clean steps in. This formula packs a reliable dose of PEA paired with upper cylinder lubricants. It won't blast carbon like a heavy-duty cleaner, but that's the point. Lucas is gentle, safe, and consistent, engine-friendly for routine maintenance, without risking seals, sensors, or fuel system components. Use it every few thousand miles, and it keeps deposits from ever becoming a problem. Fuel injectors stay free-flowing, intake valves remain cleaner, spark plugs last longer, idle stays steady, and combustion remains efficient. Over time, you maintain smoother performance and prevent the costly buildup that triggers misfires, reduced fuel economy, and catalytic converter strain. It's perfect for drivers who don't want surprises. There's no need for emergency deep cleanse. If your engine is already protected, the PEA dissolves small carbon layers before they grow into stubborn crusts. The lubricants reduce friction in the upper cylinder, giving a subtle, steady improvement in fuel efficiency. Expect 0.5 to 1 miles per gallon gains as a bonus. Lucas Deep Clean isn't flashy. It doesn't promise miracle horsepower spikes or instant sparkle. It quietly preserves your engine, giving longevity and peace of mind. In many ways, it's like a shield, preventive, gentle, and remarkably effective over time. But sometimes a shield isn't enough. You need a hammer built for engines begging for a reset. Number 2. BG44K. This one kicks the door in. A single can unleashes a chemistry package, built for technicians, not supermarket shelves. The moment it blends with fuel, the reaction starts, working its way through the injectors, valves, and combustion chamber, like a heat-proof carbon eraser. The secret is its high-tolerance PEA load, the kind that stays stable under extreme temperatures. Lesser additives fade or evaporate long before reaching stubborn deposits. This formula hangs on, digs deep, and breaks down carbon that other cleaners barely smudge. Engines that have grown dull, hesitant, or noisy, they often regain sharp throttle response in just one tank. Sluggish injectors regain proper spray patterns. Combustion becomes cleaner and more balanced. Turbo engines suffer fewer knock events. Direct injection engines, famous for tough chamber deposits, benefit from a noticeable reduction in hot spots. The entire system runs with less struggle and more confidence. Drivers notice the difference in ways that matter. Idle smooths, hesitation fades, throttle responds faster, and fuel economy climbs back toward normal. Not not magic, just chemistry with attitude. This isn't a weekly additive or a casual top-off. BG44K is the reset button, a once-in-a-while deep purge for engines that need real intervention, not a polite suggestion. When an engine's past starts whispering through every rough idle, only one kind of cleaner steps up, the kind that digs into history and rewrites it. Number 1. Goomout Regain. High mileage. Some engines hit 75,000 miles and start acting older than they are. Throttle response drops. Idle turns shaky. Acceleration feels half asleep. That sluggishness often comes from one culprit: carbon baked onto injectors, valves, and inside the combustion chamber. Goomout Regain High Mileage was built specifically to attack that problem. Its biggest weapon is a high-dose PEA formula, one of the strongest concentrations allowed on store shelves. PEA doesn't just rinse carbon, it destroys the chemical bonds holding deposits together. Thick, stubborn layers that block airflow and distort fuel spray, they begin to dissolve from the inside out. Engines breathe easier, combustion evens out, fuel economy rebounds. But Regain goes a step further. Older fuel systems battle a quiet threat: ethanol corrosion. Ethanol pulls moisture from the air. Moisture turns into internal rust. Rust narrows injector passages and weakens spray patterns. Regain includes corrosion inhibitors that help shield high-mileage components from that slow internal damage. This cleaner works best for engines that feel tired, neglected, or weighed down by years of varnish. One treatment can restore lost smoothness, improve throttle response, and recover several miles per gallon in heavily coated systems. Still, it has limits. Let me be clear about this. No fuel cleaner can repair broken injectors, clogged pump strainers, faulty sensors, or severe DI valve deposits. Use Regain as a smart first step. If issues continue, deeper diagnostics become the next move. Still, for engines crying out for a once-in-a-decade purge, there exists one last wildcard, the kind you don't unleash lightly. Bonus powerhouse, B12 Chem Tool. Its HEST technology delivers a temporary methanol boost, literally melting stubborn carbon deposits out of fuel injectors, intake valves, and even the gas tank. B12 shines for higher mileage engines that need a serious reset. Don't treat it like Redline SI1. It's not for frequent use. Overdoing B12 can damage seals and sensitive components because it's incredibly aggressive. Used correctly though, the results are impressive. Fuel injectors get restored close to factory performance, deposits vanish, and combustion steadies. Gas mileage improves noticeably, and engines run cleaner and smoother. I recommend B12 only every 10,000 miles. Its strength is its secret, stripping and melting long-term varnish that normal cleaners can't touch. For tired engines begging for a fresh start, B12 is like a deep clean spa treatment for your fuel system, but only when handled with respect. Now you know what saves engines and what destroys them, so keep the momentum and dive into the next breakdown waiting for you. 17 habits to make your car last over 500,000 miles without repairs.